Well, folks, I'm back once again doing another video game review. And this time I'm reviewing Super C for the NES. Super C is a two-player co-op shooter and a sequel to the classic game Contra. And much like Contra, Super C started off as a two-player co-op arcade game, which was ported to the NES. But the arcade version, the title of it was simply Super Contra, and when they put it into the NES, it became known as Super C. One thing I do remember is the commercial for Super C, where Red Falcon is this like rich tycoon who boasts about his victories over gamers who pretty much tried to test him in Super C, and he had like, based off what I remember, a couple of gamers that was on his walls as trophy, and honestly that was pretty funny. That was the funniest part of the commercial, and the premise of the commercial is that Super C is tougher than Contra, and quite honestly it is, and that's saying a lot considering that Contra itself is on the NES is hard, you know. But on to the game, and the premise for this game is pretty much Red Falcon and his army pretty much return from defeat from Contra, try to take over the world again, and Bill and Lance are back to stop them, you know. So as far as the enemies are concerned, a lot of the ones that's from Contra make a return, like the running foot soldiers and the snipers. But as far as but Super C has different type of turrets and stuff. Even though even though the turrets make a return, the design for them are pretty different. Plus you have different new enemies like tanks, tanks, bubbles. I don't know why, but these bubbles are make their entry into this Super C. But they're in there. Then you have aliens that look like the Cinemas from the Ridley Scott movie, from the Alien movie, of course directed by Ridley Scott, or different stuff like that. And then there's the weapons. Now, the machine gun, the laser, and the spread gun, all those three make a return. Then the only thing that's changed as far as that is concerned is the fireball that went in a circular pattern. That's not in there anymore, but it is this fire-based weapon that's like a huge fireball that goes straight. And this fireball weapon in Super C is pretty much the strongest weapon in the game that you can use, but the spread gun is pretty much a fan favorite, and always been a fan favorite since the first one came out, you know. And pretty much Super C has 8 stages, pretty much like Contra, but with Super C has a couple of overhead stages where you can use the jump button. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I guess they decided they pretty much decided not to use the jump button in these overhead stages. I'm not pretty much complaining about it. I just don't know why they went that way. Because they could have had you program the overhead stages where you use 2 guns instead of 1 or something. My thing is make the use of the A button in the overhead stages of Super C. I guess that's where I'm looking at it. Super C is a pretty good game. It's pretty, I would say it's better than Super C in some respects. It has good graphics and game design, and the game design, the design part of Super C isn't like a carbon copy, which I'm glad that Konami didn't do that. But Konami is not known for taking a particular sequel and just let this haphazardly put in level design from the first game in it. So they're not known to do that. So I like that part. And the other thing that I like about Super C is the controls. There's no real significant changes with it, and you can shoot in all 8 directions. You can jump while shooting, and of course I'll talk about the other 6 levels that exist in Super C. That's not an overhead stage, and the soundtrack is, in my opinion, the best part of Super C. And I can honestly say it's just as good or even better than the Contra soundtrack, which is, in my opinion, Contra do have a good soundtrack. Don't get me wrong. Just that it seemed like Konami honestly outdid themselves with the soundtrack to Super C when you compare it to Contra. Like I said, I don't know if anybody considers it a gripe or whatever, but it is, Super C is tougher than Contra. Like you have like, you got the same like type of hazards. It's just that Super C has more enemy placement in it than Contra do. I guess that's what makes one of the things that make Super C tougher. And I think the other reason is because of the code that's in Super C. And with the code in Super C, it's not the Konami code, which everybody who played Contra knows is up, up, down, down, left, right, B, and start. But then there is this, they have a different code that gets you 10 lines instead of 30. And I honestly believe the programmers did that to make it more tougher than Contra. And in my opinion, Super C is tougher than Contra, regardless if you put in the code or not. Now, to be truthful, Super C is one of the best sequels that I play on any system, whether it's on NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, whatever the case may be. And if I were to make a top 10 video game sequels, Super C will be on that list, as far as the score. I would definitely give this one a 9. There's a lot of things in Contra they, in my opinion, improved on it in Super C. And with that being said, if you like Super C, or if you feel that if Super C is your favorite Contra game in the series, you can mention it in the comment section. If you want to talk about the toughest Contra game in the series, you can talk about that also, even if it's Super C. If you like this video, don't hesitate to thumbs it up, and don't forget to subscribe. This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 signing off.